Drop your pants next to the bed, that's just what the woman said. The look upon her face was mighty boy. Drop your drawers and stay a while, she said calmly with a smile. Told her I was not that kind of boy. I was just a boy of teens, it was yesterday it seems. Walking down the street after a dance. By the corner stood a girl with her hair all up in curls. Her motion to me wasn't hard to grasp. Well, she had things I'd never seen, and Lord knows I was pretty green. She motioned me to follow her sweet path. She said, honey, come upstairs. I knelt and said my prayers. As I closed the door, here's what she said to me.
Come here, you sweet thing.
Drop your pants next to the bed, that's just what the woman said. The look upon her face was mighty coy. Drop your drawers and stay a while, she said calmly with a smile. Told her I was not that kind of boy. Well, I knew not what to do, so I just removed my shoes. After all, I didn't know her well. I was nervous as could be, but she smiled so patiently. The room was cool, but I was hot as hell. Drop your pants next to the bed, that's just what the woman said. The look upon her face was mighty coy. Drop your drawers and stay a while, she said calmly with a smile. Told her I was not that kind of boy. Morning lifted up my eyes, across my fingers gave a sigh. All at once came someone to the door. A voice pounded at the air. I know my daughter's in there, she said calmly as my bare feet hit the floor. Drop your pants next to the bed, that's just what the woman said. The look upon her face was mighty coy. Drop your drawers and stay a while, she said calmly with a smile. Told her I was not that kind of boy. Well, I told her I was not that kind of boy. Well, I told her I was not that kind of boy.
When you're stuck in a groove and your rhythm's gone, you know you've got to move on. If the flame is burnt out and the fire's cold, there ain't no way around. Truth gotta be told, you've gotta open your mouth and let the words fall out. Ain't nothing gonna change it till you do. It ain't easy to do.
You say you want to run with me. You think I fit you to a T. To you I'm just another guy next door. Oh, but let me get square with you. I'm always gonna be on the move, searching for rowdy places I can't afford. I'm just your everyday rambler, a little hard to handle. I know every joint around and some afar. I may not stay at home much, but you'll always feel my touch. And with me every night will be ones to remember. I'm just your everyday rambler. Your dad'll probably hate my ways, while your mom is praying that I'll change. But I promise you, girl, that I'm your very guy. Because even though I'm restless and wild, I'll always try to make you smile, and you won't get bored with my fun-loving kind of life. I'm just your everyday rambler, a little hard to handle. I know every joint around and some afar. I may not stay at home much, but you'll always feel my touch. And with me every night will be ones to remember. Just your everyday rambler. Well, I could change my crazy ways and live close to the vet, but that's not me. My heart won't let me be nobody else. I'm just your everyday rambler, a little hard to handle. I know every joint around and some afar. I may not stay at home much.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
And there we have it, with a word from Rogue. Yeah? Anything more? How hard done? Yeah, how hard done you're by? There you go. Off we go. It is time. I would say it's time, wouldn't you?
Ladies and
Absolutely.
gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 672, and we have plugins for pixelizing images with blockified photos and some WordPress news, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z. WordPress, the king of content management systems, powering the web with over 80,000 plugins to choose from. How do you sort the junk from the gems? Welcome to WP Plugins A-Z, where we've been keeping the pulse of WordPress alive for over 16 incredible years. Join us every week for an unrehearsed, real talk breakdowns of the latest and greatest plugins, developer and community member interviews. Some weeks, Amber and I team up to dig in. Others, I'm flying solo, unpacking WordPress news, demoing a standout plugin, or sharing tips to power up your site. No scripts, no fluff, just the good stuff from A to Z. So plug in and let's get rolling. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the other brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber Lynn.
Look at that. We're getting better at that timing.
Yeah. Working out great now.
Little by little. Well, I don't have a heck of a lot. I've been pretty scattered these last few weeks with some pretty decent projects. I'll be releasing an alpha, looking for alpha testers on a major project. It was supposed to be this week, but it's been pushed off by another week due to someone lighting fires elsewhere that I had to go put out. Well, that's the way of developing. It's just constant things. You get going and going, and somebody comes along and goes, you know what? I think we want to light this on fire and make you go do that. So it's all that loads of fun stuff. We've got all kinds of other great stuff, and Amber's got a whole load of stuff here, but with all of that...
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
It's the only place I get to use this.
I don't know. You can bring it on to your other shows and just, get yourself to be quiet. Hi, MD. I'm glad you could make it.
What do you mean, to get myself to be quiet on my other... I'm the only voice there until people start showing up to the...
Everything?
Google Meet,
I suppose so. But, I mean, you could use it for yourself, get yourself back on track. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When you're following one of your rabbit holes, maybe? I don't know.
Well, who knows?
It's an idea.
It is.
Anyways, welcome to episode 672, WordPress Plugin Revolution. Level up your site with A to Z insights. We've got a couple of great in-depth plugins to cover for you. We have Pixelize Image Optimizer that automatically converts your images to WebP on upload and makes your whole site load faster with almost zero effort. And Folio Blocks, a photographer-built solution that gives you beautiful, modern photo and video galleries that can feel pretty awesome right there in the block editor, Gutenberg. And of course... excuse me as I choke myself. And of course, we've also got some recent news in both the WordPress world and the tech world in general with additional WordPress tips. Hoping everyone out there is enjoying the beginning of summer. We're a little chillier here, hanging out between 10 and 12 the last couple days, but I'm sure we'll bounce back up to about 25 and 30 for our American friends. What?
MD, as if it's titled 672, I forgot to change the title number on the Google, on the YouTube.
Thanks for pointing that out, Hendian. Always fun to point out when he makes mistakes. All right, so a couple reminders before we start the show today. We are, or one of us at least, you're here every Monday. I'm here every other Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific time. Show notes are added to WP Plugins A-Z.com within 24 hours of the show airing. And you can check them out either on the homepage or on the podcast vaults. And this is a value for value show. So do us a favor, hit the like button, maybe turn the volume up and help other people get to hear us so that we can get ourselves heard and more people like us.
Absolutely.
Our artist today is Grok.
Yes. And he's contributed almost all the videos except for the videos of Rogue, all the other animated videos. He's contributed all those off of the images he creates.
They're getting pretty cool.
Yeah, some of them are getting pretty fascinating, and they're appearing all over the place. Here's that's the one that was playing on the front page. I gotta find the others. At any rate, we've got lots of cool stuff happening. All right, with all of that, I suppose we should.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
So first up, we have the WordPress Vulnerability Report from PatchStack. So these guys are great. You get the updated information. They're really easy to read. You have some pretty amazing filters there, so you can flip on through and get the information you need. I do have a few other sites that are vulnerability reports. I'm going to collect them together and I'll bring them to the show next time we're on the show. But for now, we just have PatchStack here, and these guys are awesome.
Yes, they are.
Next up, we have WP Maps Pro, a vulnerability exploited to take over WordPress sites. So this is from June 1st. If you haven't already heard, this is a good thing to know about. Currently, the WP Maps Pro is experiencing an issue where it's allowing unauthenticated threat actors to create new administrative accounts to take over the vulnerable site. So if you have not already updated, you should do so immediately. And if for whatever reason you cannot update it, you need to deactivate it. And make sure you check your site or your client's site. Make sure nothing has happened. Next up, we have Gutenberg 23.3 ships experimental customizable WordPress dashboard. That is quite the mouthful. It's actually pretty cool looking. It's a customizable dashboard letting users add, move, resize, and rearrange widgets on the WordPress admin's home screen. It's a nice little quality of life upgrade for everyday users. So it's makes everything a little easier to get to, and since it's organized the way you want it to be rather than the way they think it should be, it's easier for everyone's brain.
I don't know. The thing that I looked at that and I said, well, what changed? Because I've been organizing my dashboard like that for years. Because in case people didn't realize, you could move those blocks around in a dashboard.
I don't know. Is it different for Gutenberg?
It might be different for Gutenberg, but since I don't use Gutenberg, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't really use it either. I've been dabbling here and there because it has gotten a little easier for me to start wrapping my brain around it. Like when it first started, I could not. I noped right out of that. But now they've actually got it going to a point where I can start wrapping my mind around it a little bit. So
it's taken them 8 years to get to this point. Maybe in another 5, it'll be highly usable.
Maybe.
We can always hope. I keep trying it from time to time, and every time I try it, I go to do something simple that should be adjustable, and I can't do it without writing custom CSS, and I go, yep, I'm out.
Yeah, see? It's just been hard, but I was playing around with it recently, and it was a little easier than the last time I played around with it, like a year ago, so about once or twice a year I try it again.
All right.
Next up, we have WordPress.org overhauls 20-year-old jobs board, adds career features and to profiles. You know, I've noticed the change. It actually looks quite nice.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a nice little upgrade and gives you a little bit more information when you're checking things out. So I think that was a good move.
It would be. I completely forgot it existed. WP World had something. They don't have a job board, but they have a lot of connections for WP World. But anyway.
And then the last one I have here for today is SiteGround auto installs AI plugin on customer sites, calls WordPress 7.0 a watershed moment as customers push back. So SiteGround started automatically installing the AI plugin on their customer site, and that people have not been happy at all.
Well, no, nobody's happy to have a plugin auto-installed because they'll tweak their site the way they want it, and somebody comes along, the hosting provider who has access to force it in there. There was a nice joke on the X feeds for it. Somebody said how to get 1 million installs on a plugin. First, create the plugin. First get a hosting company with 1 million users, then create a plugin, and then force install it on all of your users. So people weren't happy. I saw bits and pieces of that. I wasn't paying attention to it particularly because I do my own hosting, so I know what goes into my accounts. But it's forcing something like AI onto people. You know, how do you know that 2/3 of your clients didn't want to do AI at all? You know.
Yeah. Just quickly here, Hemdian made a good point. You need to learn Gutenberg now, because if you wait for 5 years, you'll be too late. The replacement for Gutenberg will be ready, whatever it will be.
Well, I just hope that that Elementor continues on its way and that the classic editor continues to work. Because I've tried to use the Gutenberg editor with advanced custom post types, and it's still not as easy to insert your content as it is with the classic editor. And that's the whole thing, is how easy it is to insert the contents. Like, I don't even use that stuff. I use the front end of Elementor to CSS and make everything look pretty and bring in the content. So it's the way I build them is like the editor is really unimportant to me, aside from the fact of how unintuitive Gutenberg is for entering the title and then entering your content. It starts putting it in block by block, and it never made sense to me. I'm used to having paragraphs all in one chunk of text. It's been like that since the beginning of the computer age with word editors.
Chunks of text and chunks of text that you can flip over to the code version of it easily, so you can fix anything that's wrong. And I don't like the lack of intuitiveness, as you put it.
That's what it is. That's what it boils down to me. But for some people, it's very intuitive. But different brains work different ways. So be it. You know, I'm done being angry and pissy at it. I'm just gonna make my little comments about what I find that doesn't work for me.
Yeah, you know, actually, I'm really glad that it exists, because for the people who it does work for, can you imagine how hard it was for them to try to figure out WordPress the way it was before?
Well, yeah.
And then they got Gutenberg, and now they're like, oh my God, it makes so much more sense. So I'm happy for them.
Well, yeah, that was the reason it came into existence, was for those people. So the problem is that the community will continue to fight over it, which it gives us something else to do when there's no other WordPress drama.
Yeah, kind of like how siblings will fight about who's breathing more air in the back seat. It's just a thing we do.
There you go. That's a good way to put it. All right. You've got all kinds of other miscellaneous extra things.
Whole lot of them. There's a bunch of information here about things that Microsoft is doing as well. So definitely want to go and have a perusal through the extras there.
Yeah, there's quite the list of extras. They'll all be in the show notes for everyone that missed out on the news or really likes to sit there and drill through it all. With that, let's go talk to Rogue. All right, we have a teeny bit of WordPress drama. It's the continuation drama from Liquid Web.
You got it.
Yeah, it only took a moment. I had to stop and think for a second. Liquid Web and Cadence. And basically, it's a thread I pulled out of Reddit, of course. I think I've mentioned in a couple of my shows that I use Reddit fairly regularly for finding content now. It's actually some really good content there and some good discussions. This one here is a thread talking, somebody talking about their problems and issues dealing with Liquid Web. And what their problem was, they were just reaching the end of a development project. And at the end of a development project and get ready to launch it, that's when you sometimes, I need this additional item, and they go edit. Well, it was a Cadence sub-plugin that never used to require a license. Now it requires a license, and then they couldn't get their license, and then they've spent, according to this thread, they've already spent over 2 weeks trying to get some help to get this done. So what they've decided to do is we're going to just redo this and yank out the Cadence plugins and move on. And this is becoming a problem. The Liquid Web really dropped the ball big time, in my personal viewpoint, on this with their rebranding of everything to the Liquid Web website and dropping all of the document folders, the licensing for the events calendar, the Cadence plugins. I can't remember. There's like a slew of plugins that were there, and they screwed up all the licensing. And it's like, I
wonder why they're doing that. I mean, it's not a very good idea.
They probably had their accountants telling them what to do. The people that were counting the beans, the bean counters, were going, well, this is how you got to do it.
Okay.
They've also let go a large amount of their staff, and they went from having specific teams devoted to each plugin, and now everyone has to be responsible for all the plugins when answering support questions. And that's not a good way to go when you have multiple plugins and you don't, not every one is up to par on all those plugins. So there's a lot of issues going around here. It's like they just really dropped the ball, and this one here is going to haunt them, and it's possibly going to cost, well, it's already costing them clients, and it's possibly going to cost them more in the coming months as people go, yeah, you know, I myself am grateful. The only plugin I had that was part of their portfolio was the events calendar, which I got rid of about
a little bit ago.
2 years ago, give or take, is when I dropped. I wasn't using it, so I couldn't justify the $350 a year anymore. Because it was a very expensive plugin, and it's like, if I'm not using it to make money, it's just costing me money each month. So I dropped my license on it. But a lot of people have. I'm kind of grateful. Right now, I'm trying to find replacement events calendars that the bots can't drag into the gutter and beat endlessly.
Yeah, that is kind of a problem.
Well, there's 2 events calendars I've been dealing with on my servers. One is the events calendar. The other is all-in-one events calendar. And what happens with them, the bots hit them, and then the bots, they start hitting all the recursive events that the calendars produce, and they just keep hitting them and hitting them and hitting them. It's like, what are you guys doing? I did find some information through my research. One of the reasons why the bots do that is they're looking for a flaw, and they're trying injections along with their requests. And there have been some known flaws in all-in-one events calendar. This one particularly, because this is one of the fires I had to put out the last 3 days, was a client, his website suddenly got attracted by the bots for his all-in-one events calendar, and it was dragging the server into slow motion mode, and I had to, anyway. But the reason they do it is, while his plugin was up to date and secured, past versions of it had a flaw that when they did hit like that, they were able to inject and create administrators or other injections into the site. So this is why it's done. But what it does is it brings the server to its knees with hundreds, thousands of constant requests at the HTXS, the on the Apache server, or in Nginx if you use that. But anyway,
so it's like the Star Trek creatures.
They
start as one, and they just keep going.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like tribbles.
Tribbles. That's what they're called.
Tribbles. Yes. Yeah, it starts as a few, and then pretty soon you've got the entire ship full of tribbles, and that's pretty much what these bots do.
Just start calling them tribble bots.
I think I will do that. I kind of like that analogy for them. All right.
Yeah.
That's enough of that. I want to bring out this week's featured promotion, because I need to bring it up again because I thoroughly love this plugin. It is ClickTalk Premium plugin that you plug into your WordPress website. And if you have multiple WordPress websites, you can set one of them as the master website and then set all the other ones as the slave websites. And all those ones can send their data for the people who log in and track their time to the master website. And this is
so cool.
It's fantastic for me, because what it allowed me to do is I bought one of the big licenses from him. I actually bought it when he was first introduced this plugin, so I got in on a really good deal, which unfortunately for people isn't available anymore. But what it does is it allows me to track my time across everywhere. And I've been using this now for about 9 or 10 months. And in that time period, I've managed to recover a vast amount of my time and realize where I'm spending my time and how I'm spending my time. And what that does is that allows you to make sure when you're doing something for a client, you log into their website, you start tracking your time, and what you thought was only took you like 20 minutes, you look and it took you 45 minutes. Well, now you can bill for 45 minutes. So anyway, fantastic plugin. Go check him out. ClickTalk. It's from Friendly Web Guy over in the UK, and it is a plugin that will save you time and earn you more money. So go check that one out. And
don't forget to point out that it has a reminder for people like me who go, yeah, I'll definitely mark down my time. And then, you go and start like, oh, shoot, how long have I been doing this for? I was supposed to start the timer. It has a reminder. It's fantastic.
Yeah, you set the reminder, and so as soon as you log into the website, it pops up and says, don't forget to start tracking your time.
So useful.
Very useful tool on that aspect. All right. What else have I got here? Well, That's pretty much it. I don't have any significant tips of the day right now. Just follow me on X for what little bits I put out there, or follow WP Plugins A-Z on X, where our marketing manager handles all of that stuff for us. I do want to let everyone know I do have an interview coming up in July. I am interviewing Marcus Burnett on July 27th. I do have July 13th, August 10th, and 24th open for interviews. If I don't have them booked in time, I close them up, and then you get the Plugin Pulse show for those of you that listen to that. Other than that, we've got a nice list here for places you can go get other WordPress training and content. So with that, we will dive into plugin reviews. All right, plugin I've got for you. This is called Pixelize Image Optimizer, and surprise of all surprises, now this seems to be a really good place for plugin authors to promote themselves. It's over on Reddit. Shows up in my Reddit feed. Yeah. Oh, I
didn't think about that. I always think of Reddit as like the shit post. I don't really think of it as a place to promote yourself. That's awesome.
No, there's a lot of really good promotions over on Reddit. There's a lot of shit posting and a lot of complaints
yes,
and a lot of whining, some really twisted images occasionally. But hey, sometimes I actually get local news from Reddit that I don't get anywhere else. It's really kind of interesting, the kind of stuff on Reddit. I have a very large selection of stuff I follow on Reddit. But anyway, back to Pixelizer. This one here, this is another in a long list of plugins that when you upload your images, it auto compresses them for you or auto converts them from whatever format you're uploading. Oftentimes it's a JPEG format or a TIFF format or something, but it converts it to a WebP, compresses it down, and then puts it into your site so that you can help speed up your site with all of your content going up. It's automatic. It's a free plugin. It supports JPEG, JPEG. Does anyone use that anymore? PNGs, bitmaps, and AVIFs. You know,
JPEGs are still used by high schoolers because
JPEGs. See, there's a difference between a JPG JPEG and a JPEG JPEG.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then I guess I don't know if anyone uses the JPEG because I only know the JPG.
Yeah. Well, the JPG is the JPEG, but there's the old version. Like the JPG was the one where, who was the camera? I forget the camera. I still got a floppy disk with images on it. You used to stick a 3 1/4. Canon? No, it wasn't. It might have been Canon.
Canon was pretty far ahead of its time. Like it had all of the cool on the edge stuff when I was growing up.
But your format used to be you'd stick a 3 1/2-inch floppy drive in there, and you would take your pictures, and it would save them to the floppy drive for you.
Really? Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah,
I need one of those cameras, so I have a reason to have a floppy disk again.
It was the only reason. It was the first digital camera I used was one of those. So at any rate,
it's actually really cool.
This here is a really great one. It helps you. You can set it so you can adjust the WebP quality from 0 to 100. I wouldn't recommend 0, but default is 85, so it gives you a nice, decently compressed images. Replace your image URLs and attachments. On the whole, it's a really great plugin. It's one that can save you time. I myself have already settled into my preferred plugin for uploads. I use Simeo. It's my preferred one. It works way better. It does a local side compression before uploading. It doesn't depend on the server setup. It depends on your local computer, which is, in my opinion, way better. So at any rate, go check this one out. It's a great plugin. It's Pixelize Image Optimizer. It's a freebie, and I give it a 5 Dragon rating.
Awesome. Now for some WordPress tips. Yay, I love that little sound. So for everyone out there, we would love to hear some tidbit tips from some of our producers out there. What have you figured out by breaking something? Or what did you need to learn in order to help somebody else who broke something? Or what have you just picked up over the years that you think younger generation or newer generation to the business could do by hearing? My tip to you today is don't be afraid to dive into something you don't understand head first. I mean, of course, be at least a little smart, like set yourself up on your sandbox, keep the safety net handy so you can run away screaming if it all goes horribly wrong, but be sure to dive in head first so you can't back out. It will likely feel absolutely terrifying and seem like a really terrible idea, but once you get into it, you might actually find you enjoy the experience. Kind of like how diving into an icy lake actually feels pretty good in 40-degree weather. It just doesn't seem like a good idea at the time. The bonus to this is that so long as you allow yourself to flounder around for a bit and before running over to the how-to guides, you are actually creating new neuron pathways within your brain, and this will help you to be sharper with your usual tools. You'll find new ways to use the tools that you already know, and you'll be able to solve problems faster and easier on the stuff you already know, even after banging your head against the wall for a bit with the new stuff. So don't let yourself get stuck with just one builder or just one tool. Forcing yourself to start over the process again once in a while, it does actually keep your brain rather fresh and rubbery. It keeps the grumpy bear inside of us all at bay for a little longer too, because you don't get so bored. Also, yes, don't ever eat the yellow snow.
Yes, and hello, Honeymoon Bay. Yes. Well, the thing is that you also can take, even if you've settled into a particular builder, you can add new things to it to expand out from it. I mean, I've been using Elementor for a while, and only in the last year and 3/4 did I adopt fully advanced custom fields and figure out how to integrate that into Elementor for dynamic content. And I've been taking that to new levels.
Yeah, but the only way you're able to do that is by diving into something you didn't really understand how to use.
Oh, absolutely.
That's the whole point here, is dive into something that you don't know how to use, because by doing so, even if it's not your usual kind of tool, you may not be able to use it with your preferred tool, but it'll actually teach you something and you'll become better with the tool you usually use. It's pretty amazing how it works.
And don't do it on your live site.
No, sandbox.
I've learned that the hard way. Don't do it on your live site, because you'll break something and you'll go, what'd I do?
Yeah.
And then you spend an hour trying to undo what you did because you were only half paying attention when you broke it. That's usually how it works. All right. What?
Hendian said, I no longer have new pathways in my brain, just muddy footprints everywhere. Sounds about right.
All right. And with that piece of wisdom,
my plugin for you today is Folio Blocks. So this is a Gutenberg plugin, which is why I was playing around with Gutenberg again and realized that it's actually gotten a little bit better. This plugin was sent in by a Michael Campanella, who is a professional photographer. Campanella?
Campanella. It's Camp.
Campanella.
And
no, there's no H
Ella.
there. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I'm totally murdering his name.
Yeah, it's Camp. CAMPANELLA. Camp and Ella.
Okay.
Campanella. Say it very fast. Every once in a while, I can figure out names.
Okay. So, yeah, Michael has been a professional photographer for 15 years. And when he sent this in, the first part of what he said is, I am a professional photographer, 15 years, and Folio Blocks is my first WordPress plugin. I developed it because I felt most of the big photography plugins for WordPress were incredibly out of date and not really ideal for modern WordPress and the block editor. I wanted a plugin that was block editor first and took advantage of all the features available. When I could not find one, I decided to build it. He has a lot more that he says on here and a link that you can follow. I'm going to leave it here in the show notes for you to go and peruse on your own time. Wow. And dive into the actual review here, which once it's downloaded and activated, you are taken straight to the Folio Blocks dashboard. It's really nicely laid out. You can also find Folio Blocks in your left-hand menu. On the dashboard, you get a personal welcome, which I think is awesome. And you get a list of the available blocks and a changelog on the side, which is super useful. Some quick links where you can find some help or how-tos, and the latest news from their site, which I think is cool. Now, there are some differences because this is a freemium, and in the underneath of the dashboard, you can actually go and check out free versus pro. They have it all listed out so you get a clear understanding of exactly what you're getting if you buy or if you stay with free. Very cool. I don't think I've seen a plugin do that where they create a whole page for you designed like this. It's actually this exactly, but you have it in the plugin once you download it, so you have it in your site to look at anytime you want. I lost my spot. I need to go back. Okay, there we go. In the pro version, or in the free version, you'll get before and after block, carousel gallery block, grid gallery block, justified gallery block, masonry gallery block, and video gallery block. Your controls are a little more limited in the free version, but you still get all the basics plus some cool capabilities with each block. Things like responsive design settings and image resolution. The exact controls depend on each block, but the free version gives you enough to really get going and have some good control over each thing. In the pro version, you'll get all of the above, plus the modular gallery block, and a lot more advanced controls, like show title and hover, WooCommerce integration, and others. With Pro, there are basically no limitations. You get the full set of tools, and some of the tools in Pro are really cool. So when I was testing this out in Gutenberg, which I'm not great at, I was actually able to figure out these blocks really easily. They are very intuitive, and they're really easy to use. Like working with them, changing them, very easy. It looks like he actually thought out all of the things that you really need for these various blocks, and he put them in the options, so there is no CSS needed to give it little tweaks and changes. One quirk that I did catch while I was playing around with the video gallery block, I accidentally posted a whole paragraph of text into the video URL field, and it actually accepted it with no error message. And when I went back, it actually didn't have anything in there. There was no red warning or that's not a valid URL bubble like I'm used to seeing. So when I went back and saw it was actually still blank, just want to say, if you're using this, make sure you double check that you put the proper URL in, because it won't tell you if you didn't put something in there. So make sure you double check. Other than that, it's really smooth and easy to use, plays well with others, and I had a lot of fun playing around with this. I highly recommend this for anyone who has any kind of art or product or photographs that they want to showcase on their site. I just wish it worked for Elementor. I rate this at 5 dragons.
Very cool. Looks like a lot of cool stuff while clicking through the website while you were reading out your thing.
It's really good. I really like the way he built it up. It's so easy to understand as well.
Yep. Well, he was right. All the photography plugins were definitely out of date and mostly useless.
Yeah.
You know, they were great for their time and era, but of course the internet advanced. So, and for professional photographers, if you're trying to sell your work, you need something to showcase your work in the best possible light. And that looks like it does.
And his before and after block, really good.
Let's see that one real quick. Before and after block.
Yeah. So what it does is in order to set it up, you put in 2 different pictures, right? Yeah. It's like the picture before you edited it and the picture after, and it's just it works beautifully. They
have something like that in Elementor I'll be using real soon.
Yeah.
So. All right.
So yeah. That is awesome. We have some miscellaneous announcements section here. Awesome. I think we have a different sound for it every show.
Well, that's because I need to label these things so that I know. The thing is, I have my cartboard. I have everything lined up, and then all the key stuff, and then other things are randomly placed, and I have to where's it at? That one works.
Fair enough.
Good.
So if anybody's interested here, we have this section here specifically for if anybody out there has an announcement like a meetup that they want the world to know about, or they're going to be up on stage at WordCamp, let us know. We'll put it here for you. Currently, we have the next 5 WordPress campus things that are going on.
WordPress camps.
Yes, there we go. WordPress camps. Thank you. I was close. Mm-hmm. And then we also have the WordCamp link, and we have a meetup link for WordPress if you're interested in searching for a meetup near you. And
All
we have
right.
affiliates.
We do. And that one there was the one that we had a whole nother.
I don't remember what we had last show.
Neither do I. I moved a bunch of stuff around.
Coincidence? I think not.
That works.
Oh, actually, I think that might be what we had last time, too.
Yeah, okay. Affiliates. Yes, this is where we talk about affiliates and other miscellaneous things to showcase, this is a value for value show. And we have 4 affiliate companies that we work with. Now, we're not making any money off of them. Not made a single dime in the year and a half I've been an affiliate. But I still talk about them because we use these products, and these products are fantastic and we recommend them. We don't mind recommending people and not getting paid for it. But hey, if you can remember to use the affiliate link, we would greatly appreciate the extra couple of bucks that comes from it.
That'd be cool.
The first one is Termageddon. Termageddon is a great way to manage your privacy policies, your shoot, I can't remember all the policies now. Your privacy, your terms and conditions, your disclaimer, your end user, your cookie policies, and the cookie policy generator and the cookie consent tool. The biggest useful thing here, if you notice when we click on multiple websites, it's like, hey, we use cookies, click here. That's so commonplace now. Half the time, if I'm not going to use that website anymore, I don't bother clicking them. I'm just there for one piece of information. I'm done. But for people coming to your site, the cookie consent tool is fantastic. It blocks everything instantly except for the essential functional cookies. And then people have to accept it, and it helps you comply with all the ludicrous laws out there, like the CPRA, GDPR, UK DRIPA, California OPA, the PIPA, and God, the acronyms go on forever as long as...
OPA!
Well, the acronyms are as long as the numbers in pi, I swear to God.
Probably.
So, at any rate, fantastic tool. Go check it out. And the best part is the cost, only $129 a year. And they also help you stay up to date with the ever-changing landscape of these laws. If a new law comes in, and based upon the way you answered all your questions, it thinks that you might be relevant to that, it sends you an email and says, hey, new updates are coming in your particular area. These might be relevant. Go answer these new questions. So, great tool.
And we have Rank Math, which is definitely an amazing SEO plugin. They just keep up in their game, and the people who have a free account, they keep scoring too, because they don't just add all their new stuff into the pro account. They also let the free account people get in on some of that new stuff too, I've noticed, which is really cool, because I've seen a lot of plugins where they don't do that. If you want to get serious about your SEO rankings and start really getting noticed, Rank Math is a good way to go. They will give you the really good treatment, but whenever you call into customer service, they don't treat you poorly. If you just have a free account, they still treat you the same as pro, which is also really awesome.
Yep.
And their
Keep going.
I was going to say, and their price is only a third of Yoast and all-in-one SEO, which is really useful.
Yeah.
Whether you're a beginner or pro, these guys are really awesome to work with.
Yeah, and if you can afford the pro, get it, because it's well
Oh,
worth
yeah.
all the extra advantages to the pro version. All right.
Oh, so much so.
The other one we've got is bunny.net. And bunny.net is a CDN network that is very affordable, very fast, and very easy to use. And it's got a lot of features that I still have begun to even touch. So there's a lot to bunny.net. Now, one of the great things to let know is if you're doing something such as very specific videos that are tied to your membership platform and you don't want to put them on YouTube where they could end up in the wild easier, you can use bunny.net to deliver those videos to your website, and the only people who can watch them is if they're inside your website watching the video. They can't direct link to that video at all, but it can be accessed specifically through your website only. Very useful tool. Also, with the gigabytes of data that we go through every month because we deliver videos and our podcasts and images and lots of things from several websites, all from one account, it still stays under a few bucks a month. So go check it out, bunny.net. And the final one is GetGlow, Glow WP, and this one here is a WordPress management dashboard for managing multiple WordPress websites. You get your first website free so you can check it all out, and then it's €1.71 $1.95 US for each additional seat is how they've started charging for it. It was completely different when I started, but people change their pricing structure regularly. At any rate, it's well worthwhile. The best thing about it is the reports that are created in it that you can then send out to your clients on a regular basis to let them know, hey, I'm actually doing stuff on your website. With that, we also want to talk about this show being a value for value model, meaning that if you get any value out of this show, give us some value back. That value can be in time, talent, or treasure. With time, well, you can come in here and do something as simple as donate your artwork to the show.
That would be awesome.
That would be.
We miss having artwork from people.
We miss having people, different artwork. Right now, Grok is creating virtually all our artwork since, he's matured in his current version and he's doing really good. I'm hoping they don't lobotomize him again.
Hopefully. But it's going to happen.
Well, yeah, it's bad. Every time they lobotomize him, he goes back to kindergarten level of artwork.
Yeah.
And it takes him a while to get back to where he creates good artwork again. So at any rate, right now, if you go submit your artwork, you can go to the Donate Your Artwork page. Just go create a title, description, upload your image, upload your video if you create one. And then once we review it and make sure it's a legitimate thing, it'll start appearing here in this gallery. And people can click through to the artwork, see the image that's on display, see the video of the artwork, and then they get a little story if you do that. Create something on there. Hey, even if you want to use it as a cheater's way to get a link back to your website, go ahead. If it seems like a valid link and it's relevant to the WordPress community, we don't mind sharing links to the world because that's how the internet was built to begin with, is by sharing links. Everyone's gotten really stingy with their link sharing now. The big thing for me is it's got to be relevant to the community that we're in. At any rate, that's how you can do with your time. The other way, that's time and talent right there. Sorry.
That is.
Time and talent. The other one with time is get out there and plug people in, tell them about the show, share it out there. The other thing you can do for us is if you're listening to us right now on YouTube, hit that little like button and subscribe if you're not already. Give us some likes there. Maybe we'll start to get a little more love in the YouTube world if people remember to hit that like button. And my big thing is to remind everyone to do that. Hit that like button. The final one is treasure. And you can donate to the show. Hit the treasure's donation. Pick a number anywhere from 1 to 1 million. And donate some money. If the show saves you $5, consider sending out $5 to us. If it earns you an extra $100, consider sending us 10% of that. Hey. That sounds fair. If we earned you an extra $100 because of some tip or piece of information we gave you, I think it's fair. Kick something back to us for all of that. At any rate, those are the time, talent, and treasure, the value for value model that is WP Plugins A-Z. All right. And we covered the plugins we covered up in this episode. I covered up the Pixelize Image Optimizer. Man, my tongue is just not doing it.
One more time.
Pixelize Image Optimizer by Pixelize.
There you go. You got it.
Automatic WebP conversion upon image upload. Adjustable WebP. Prevents duplicate conversions. Now, the one thing I didn't mention in the review was they do check your server to see if your server has the necessary conversion tools. Image Magic, and I can't remember the other one. So it lets you know if they don't exist. And I gave it a 5 dragon rating.
And I covered Folio Blocks by Folio Blocks. Native Gutenberg gallery blocks, grid masonry, carousel justified before and after, and more. Inner blocks with drag and drop reordering directly in list view. Real-time custom borders, shadows, and image radius. I rated this at 5 dragons.
All right, and it is time.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
Another thing that people can do if you so desire to send in something artsy is you can make jingles for us, because most of the jingles that we use, like the one you just heard, was actually sent in to us by one of our listeners.
Yeah, years ago now. Going on 5 or 6 years since he created that. He created us a whole bunch of really cool jingles in his beautiful British accent.
He did. It's great. So if anybody out there has any questions they'd like to have asked here on the show, you can send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and I will ask them here, and you'll get an answer. And you know what? If you don't want anyone to know that you're the one asking the question, no worries. I'll just put the question there and pretend it's me asking the question. No problem, but you'll still get the answer. First question is, for those building out a new site in WordPress, would you recommend they focus on the speed and performance or on the beauty and usability first, and why?
You want to focus on speed and performance while including the beauty and usability. The speed and performance, we've got goldfish brain people out there. They won't wait.
There is that.
If the website if the initial load of the website takes more than a few seconds for them to see something, they're like, "Oh, it's broken," and they're out of there. It's just the way it is. You got to have it fast, and if it's not fast, that also impacts your SEO. So you've got to focus on the speed while you're building it, the speed and performance. The idea in that area there is, one, you need a good hosting provider. You need to think about all the plugins. While you can build a website and have it very fast and speedy with, how many plugins do we have in our website right now? WP.
A lot?
Well, no, I'm just going to look it up real quick. It'll only take me a moment to get there.
I actually just remembered something. There was a story about this younger kid who he built a site, but it took a while to load, so he built a game for people to play while it loaded.
Yeah.
And I just realized, that is actually a really cool idea. And then and if you actually built the game, you could actually have a little link off to the side, like play loading game here, and people could just go and play a game on your site. That would be so much fun.
Yeah, there's been things like that to distract the people. On WP Plugins A-Z, we have 55 active plugins currently.
Yeah.
That's a significant number of plugins, and we also have a fair amount of custom code hiding in the functions file for different things that I've been doing.
There is a lot of that.
But yet the website is very fast, very responsive, and very snappy. And it looks pretty. So, when I did the rebuild on this, we had a website that was okay looking, and it was slow as molasses. Well, I fixed the speed first, and then I started working on the new layout design. So yeah, you want to stay focused on the speed and performance while making sure you're working on your beauty and usability of the website.
So kind of bounce back and forth, eh?
Yeah, you got to bounce back and forth. You work on your usability and your beauty, and then you go test to see if you've maintained your speed and performance. If you haven't maintained your speed and performance, go look at what you've done in your beauty and usability that slowed it down.
Seesawing. Awesome.
And it's not about the number of plugins in a website. It's about how they interact together.
Yes. You got to get plugins that play well with others.
Yeah.
Next question is, when you're building out a new WordPress site, do you make preparations early for future plans like multi-user setups, WooCommerce shops, or membership features? Or do you just install those? Okay. Do you install those plugins right away, set up the pages ahead of time, or is it better to just leave that until later when it's ready to become a WooCommerce shop or a membership site?
Okay. Well, this is an area where I have quagmired myself many times because I thought, well, we'll just build it and put everything in there all at once in preparation for everything that's coming. Well, the thing is it's not like the Field of Dreams movie. If you build it, they will not come. You have to build up things, get people to show up for the early stuff, and then once you've got the audience, then you start tacking on the additional items little by little. That's the one thing I had to learn. We did that once with WP Plugins A-Z. It had everything. It had forums. It had memberships. It had everything was available on this site. I stripped all of that stuff out. That's partly how I fixed the speed, because I added all that crap without looking at how it was going to function together and how as things change. So you really want to, if you're thinking that's going to happen, you want to roadmap out your website for these long-term plans, but you want the in the middle steps along the way to say, okay, well, the first thing I need people to come visit it. I need people to do this. Once they're doing that, we'll add this. It's like one of the things that's coming to WP Plugins is, well, I only recently re-added a gallery system for people to upload new artwork. I had to take the old one out, and because it just wasn't doing what I needed it to do. I've also working right now, once I added that and that's stabled, and I realized we're going to start showcasing all the plugins I've created in the last year and a half, and all of them will be free, but they'll be available from this website through our e-commerce store. But what that's in preparation for is I have a couple of plugins I'm working on that are going to be premium. So I'm looking at having to be able to sell those plugins myself through my own store, manage my own licensing, et cetera, which is what Fluent Cart does. I've installed Fluent Cart on this site. I haven't finished the configurations for it yet, and I haven't finished the tests. But what you want to do is you do want to start with the initial important stuff and then add to it. Don't make the mistakes I've made in the past of like, oh, well, I'm going to have all this and all these people are going to show up and I'll just put this and this and this in there, and your website runs like crap. People show up and they don't like it. So
yeah, that makes sense.
So yeah, no, it is one of those things I had to learn the hard way because.
Well, I've got a couple more questions for after the credits.
All right, and for those of you listening to the downloads after the credits, you might get a snippet of the next question, or occasionally I've forgotten to turn off the recording and you get the whole set of questions. But most of the time I cut it off at this point. You got to come back over to the YouTube channel and listen there for what's happening and what we've got going. So at any rate, I'm going to let our girl take us on out of here. And for those listening on YouTube, hang around for a couple of minutes and we will be right back.
Reminders for the show. All the show notes can be found at wppluginsa-z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by you, the developers, because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa-z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show through your favorite podcast app. You can also watch the show live on YouTube at WP Plugins A-Z, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. You can also follow the show on X at WP Plugins A-Z. John can be reached directly through the website wpproaz.com or email him at john@wppro.ca. Amber can also be contacted through the website at wpproaz.com or email her directly, amber@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Alrighty, we are back.
We are indeed. So, my next question for you is, as a photographer yourself, what first bits of advice would you give to photographers who are new to building a site for them to showcase their work? What's most important when getting their photos up and presented beautifully?
Figuring out a layout, figuring out how you want to present them. The other important thing for photographers, because they make their living selling prints of their images or selling digital versions of their image, you're going to have to figure out a way to only have publicly available the lowest grade pixel. Looks pretty on the web, but it's such a low resolution that the image can't be used any other way. Except on your website, because there is no way, truthfully, to protect images from being stolen off a website. It's just
no. People can take screenshots, or they can use an external program.
It can't be done. No matter how many tricks we've tried over the last 25 years, they get bypassed by those that are determined to violate copyright. So you have to find a way to present a pretty enough image when they're looking at your website, but have it of such low quality and low resolution that it's useless anywhere online or in print. We don't have the print problem like we used to. People used to steal images from online and turn them into print. That used to be a big problem, but that's not as big a problem because hardly anyone uses print anymore. So the other thing is just design. I mean, depends on how you're selling your photography services. Are you selling your artwork, or are you selling your service as a photographer? If you're selling your service as a photographer, well, put up the best. Like if you're a wedding photographer and you've got you put it in your contract where you get to use the wedding images in your portfolio, you put up the best ones you can to showcase how well you take what you can do. And that's what you do for any of the photography you do, whether you're a nature photographer, a wedding photographer, a sports photographer, whatever. And then you need a website. The plugin you reviewed today looks like a beautiful way to showcase your work. I haven't seen a really good plugin for managing photos in years. So that looks like a best way to do it, is set that up and then design something in Gutenberg around it, or have someone who does Gutenberg designs. Although you can layer Elementor on Gutenberg, it just doesn't come out very well because they compete. So at any rate, there's ways it can be done, but the biggest thing is to find ways to present your content in the most visually eye-catching way possible to encourage people. And also depends on how you're selling your services as a photographer as to what you're doing.
All right. My next question is, how would you go about creating a timelessly beautiful site design that manages to survive through all the era changes from 90s to 2020 styles and beyond? What's your approach to building a site that doesn't look outdated no matter how trends shift? Because I know you've built a few, so I'm asking.
The answer to that was I was building for simplicity. I mean,
so that's the secret, eh? Just go as simple as possible?
You go as simple as possible while displaying something. It's like I'm pretty certain that the site design we have for WP plugins would look good going back to the early 2000s. Although it wasn't, well, it was theoretically, because I remember being one of the first people to stick a column menu on a website. God, was that a pain in the ass. Man, the CSS and the other stuff required to stick it to the side and still have it look pretty. Oh, that was hard.
Yeah.
At any rate, I've got one or two websites floating around that date back to the late 2000s. And yeah, I've got one or two. I'm updating them now because they're starting to have technology problems. But
that's tech problems, but the way they look is still timeless. And so what you're saying is really what you were doing is you were just aiming for simplicity, and that's how you managed that?
Yeah, that's how I managed it. I was just aiming for simplicity.
Wow, simplicity is hard to do too. So of course it's going to be the hardest thing.
Well, it is literally.
Simple is hard.
Simple. People think, it's simple. Make it simple. No, simple is not simple. Simple is the hardest thing you can do.
Human brains have a tendency to want to fill the space.
Yeah, I know that from when I published my newspaper. My first newspaper had 36 different fonts in 12 pages.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, I still got a copy of it. Every once in a while, I want to see my stupidity. I pull it out and look at it and go, man, what was I thinking? It just looked cool. I needed to do it. And yeah, I think I did one issue like that. Yeah, that was stupid. So, yeah, that's basically it. Aim for simple. I mean, the designs I'm doing now, they'll probably last a decade or more because they're all very simple in their look and feel and navigation, while looking elegant and cool. So at least that's my viewpoint on them. But then again, I have a high opinion of it. All right. Well, that's pretty much it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for showing up here. We greatly appreciate you showing up here today and listening to the show. And
Heck yeah.
join me again next week for a Plugin Pulse show, and we'll see what kind of stuff I can get up to. We'll see what we find out this week in the world of the internet. With that, we're going to play a little music to carry us on out of here. Where's it at? There it is.
Right there.
Should we let him have his word? How hard done? Yeah, how hard done you're by? How hard done by you are? Really? What else you got to say?
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the jigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine? Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
Alrighty, folks. That's all we got. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously we just lost the satellite feed.